right, good to see everyone. Kind of a early morning for everyone. First practice of our first two-a-day. I thought our players' approach was outstanding. Was really kind of waiting to see the mindset. Do you embrace it or do you endure it every day with training camp? And training camp is really the one time of the year where you really can take great strides and really transform your game. When you look at from the scheme, understanding the schemes, but also the toughness mentally, physically, but also emotionally that it brings your football team together, going through the grind of a training camp, in your fundamentals, in your style of play. So training camp is absolutely critical, and I think players can get in a rut of where they look to endure the day or survive the day. And we have to make sure that we continue to point out great opportunities. You have to point to your leadership to really continue the energy. We talked about collective energy each and every day. And again, I liked our approach. Great teaching lessons today. Great teaching opportunities. We did a lot in terms of time management situations, end of the game situations, substitutions that go into winning football games and managing a football game at the end of situations, whether it be overtime, whether it be in the fourth quarter. So a lot of great opportunities to go in the classroom now and teach. We've really challenged them to really cleaning up our practice. We've had too many individuals on the ground when we go thud tempo. Our players are doing a good job with that now. We're starting to really be conscientious about that. We stress it all the time, but when you're a really young football team, every day is a learning experience. And a lot of these individuals have no past knowledge in our football program to rely on. So you have to reteach, and 64% have played 1 year of college football or less. So you have to continually be able to teach the small details of what it takes to play winning football. But I thought today was very productive. I thought it was one of our better practices so far in training camp.
Butch, how, as a collective, how would you rate this team on their knowledge of situational football?
Ongoing, and that's why we're repping it every single day. Every single day we have some form of situational football, but also we challenge our coaches. Yesterday we put the ball on the 8-yard line. It was 4th and 8, last play of the game, and they had 20 seconds to call a formation, a play, line up and call it, and same thing on defense, and our players to respond. So you always have to put your players and coaches in those situations, and we'll continue. Tonight is another situational practice. We'll work coming out. We'll work a lot of red zone. We'll work goal line, some end of the game plays as well. So by the time Bowling Green comes around, we will have put our players in every possible scenario that they could face come throughout the course of a long season.
Got a number of guys out obviously.
Yep.
First off, where does he stand and where is everybody else?
Yeah, Marcus, there's no timetable set. It could be the season. It could be 8 months. It could be 9 months. It's really based on how his surgery comes and how his body performs. You talk about unselfishness. Jashawn Robertson came and he wants to wear 75. That's the type of culture that is built here. That's the way our players are starting to think right now. So we got to work through Nike to see if we can make that happen. But we have a lot of bumps and bruises right now, and that's pretty typical in training camp. Kendall Vickers has been out. Evan Berry has been out. We expect Evan to be back probably in about a week or so. Kendall was out there doing a little bit. It's great to see Max Arnold back practicing right now. But he will be limited. But, we're taking some precautionary measures. Jashawn Robertson hasn't practiced. He has an ankle sprain, but he should be good to go here in the next day or two. But the bumps, the bruises are starting to associate. The way I look at it is it's a tremendous opportunity for the next person in. Now their repetitions increase, and now you have a more of an opportunity to put your football identity on video, on film, and be able to take advantage of it. And when one man is down, it's another man's opportunity, and that's how you build depth. But we do need to get those individuals back, and they've done a very good job in the training room so far.
One guy you didn't mention was Justin Martin.
Yeah, same thing. We have so many of them, it's hard to, you're always going to miss a few, but I expect Justin Martin back probably in about a week and a half. He just has a knee sprain, so we anticipate getting him back here probably in about a week or so.
Same thing with Ethan and Pig, is that just
Yeah,
next?
it's nicks and pains and bruises, and Pig tweaked his hamstring a little bit, but we expect to get him back. And same thing with Ethan. He's making great progress in getting back.
With Jackson, what's the
We're not going to disclose it. We've been pretty free with injuries, and a lot of things. We have to start respecting more our players, and we love our players. But everybody wants to write about Preston Williams in the ACT test. I love Preston Williams. I'm a father to him. That's our role. And I think, how would everyone like if the media followed their own son or daughter around to ACT testing and talked about their own son or daughter going to the ACT test? These aren't professional football players. These are young adults, and it's my job to protect them. And it's all on my shoulders, but we need to start respecting our players a little bit more in terms of these are still kids, and I love them, and I want to make sure that we're respecting them.
How much different is Alvin now as he goes into the training camp as he was in his spring when he got here?
Playing with more confidence in terms of scheme. Elvin has always been a confident young man, but he has more confidence in our scheme, and you can see that. He's really picked up the offense, much more vocal. He's leading. He's providing even more stability to the running back group. He's a great role model to our younger players. He's teaching our younger players. And just, again, I think it's an illustration of how far he's come with the amount of votes that he received for the players' staff.
How big a luxury is having two senior safeties starting, and how is the depth and quality at that position compared to when you arrived?
It is a great luxury to have when you have Brian Randolph and Ladero McNeil. Obviously, they've played a lot of football here, but they're great people, very, very good communicators. Brian has really upped his game in terms of leadership. Ladero the same way. Also, their value on special teams. You can never have enough depth. Obviously, with Evan Berry being out, with Stephen Griffin being out, a position group that we thought was very deep can change in a matter of one or two plays. That's why you can never have enough competition. We're bringing Micah Abernathy along, but he's playing more of the nickel position for us. I give Todd Kelly a lot of credit. He's been hampered with some injuries, but he's fighting through that right now with practice, so you can never have enough depth.
With the rest that they're getting up front, what have you seen with Jack Jones and Coleman Thomas?
Work in progress. Again, we've moved Coleman back to tackle, and it's a lot different from playing in the interior to the outside. Same thing with Jack. Jack is still going through his first training camp, but I see progress every day. I thought today our offensive line took a big step in moving forward with their practice today. And both those two individuals are very eager. They want to do well. They want to please. But it's like I talked to our team about. It is so different being a youngster in the offensive line and the defensive line than any other position group. Because when you're a defensive back or a wide receiver, you have time to make up for a mistake because you got 7 to 10 yard radius where you can make up for it. When you play in the interior front, the offensive and defensive lines, with one step, you're beat. You have 1 second to make a quick decision and then play with pad level and physicality. And that's why it's very rare that you see true freshmen playing immediately, just because of everything that goes with the nature of those two position groups. But those two individuals you just talked about are doing an outstanding job.
With some key guys out, how much did you need to see that out of your offense?
Needed to see it, and we'll continue to challenge them. And we're not anywhere where we need to be ready to play a game, but we don't have a game yet. But we're going to do much more group work with offensive line and defensive line, and more 2-on-2s and 2-on-1 situations, 3-on-3 to stay up off the ground. But those two positions, you have to play with a very high level of physicality every single day you step on the football field.
You talk about a lot of those sports that fit your guys that you have. You talked about the Darryl and Brian and Herbie's and Max and those other guys.
Yeah.
Do you sense an appreciation from them of kind of what's been going on here with kind of transforming the culture and winning more games? And do you sense that those guys have maybe a better appreciation for it?
Absolutely. They talk about it all the time, and they talk about our culture, and they talk about us protecting the proud tradition of Tennessee football each and every day. And we give some of those individuals you just mentioned a leadership opportunity in terms of where they present something to our football team. And last night, Kurt Majit presented the game maxims, and very eloquently done. He had some clips of the old culture back when he was a freshman, and it was a great teaching moment, and he's the one who picked it all out. And so again, things don't happen overnight, and that's why, I have to guard against all the expectations. We have to be patient. We've had a lot of years of deficiencies. You don't fix them in 3 years. You continue to progress up each and every year, each and every minute, each and every hour, each and every month, and we're doing that. And our players understand how far they've come, but we still have a long way to go. Yeah. Yeah, they've had some injuries. Nothing that'll be serious. We expect them back. They may be back either presumably tonight or tomorrow. I'll know more when we meet as a staff.
Just on Marcus, you had said 8 months, 9 months perhaps.
Could be.
Weeks or months? Or?
Months.
Okay.
Yeah. If he has any opportunity of returning, it would probably be towards the tail end of the season to a bowl game.
Butch, last one, Stripling. What's his value with the way the defensive line has changed so dramatically from the year, especially with trying to get those young guys ready?
Great value. Coach Strip does a tremendous job, and not just obviously from a fundamental aspect, but I think from a father figure, from being stern, being disciplined, but also very caring and very loving. And our players gravitate towards him, and he has credibility, and he has a presence about himself, and he's able to reach young men in the way he talks to them, the way he commands them, the way he respects them, in the way they develop. And we've been together a long time, and no matter where we've coached, the defensive line always continues to grow and develop, and you see that. And we're making great strides there. Again, our youngsters, they're not ready to play yet, but I see them getting better 1% each and every day. And it challenges your patience. As coaches, we are very incredibly impatient. We want things right now. But you have to step back and you have to work on your deficiencies, but you also have to celebrate the small victories. It may be just a 6-inch hand placement, a 6-inch stab with your right hand, your left hand, or getting your hands inside. Those are small victories that build confidence in moving forward. So Coach Stripling does a tremendous job.
Coach Kyle Phillips got his helmet far removed for freshman to do that.
Yeah.
What did his teammates see in him to make that decision?
Respect, hard work comes every day. I have been very, very proud of Kyle Phillips. Kyle Phillips gets better every single day. He has a motor. He's actually made our teaching clips about 3 times this training camp in terms of effort in swarming to the football and running to the football. And he's a young man who is getting more and more confident. And when you look at it, he's coming off of surgery, didn't have spring football, comes in here, and he's being mentored by our older players. But I have been really, really excited. I know we all are excited about Kyle Phillips. Just his work ethic, his attitude, his demeanor, his style of play. He continues to get better and better.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.